me see. We on? We on? Cool. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the 27th episode of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your gracious host, Andre Theobold, and not only is this the 27th episode of Trippin with Theobold, but this is the first episode of 2022. And not only is it the first episode of 2022, this is my birthday week extravaganza episode. So we got a doozy of an episode right now. A lot we're gonna unpack, a lot to talk about, you know. So for my new listeners, if you guys don't know, the show is called Trippin with Theobold because I be tripping in speech and I be tripping in thought. You know, I literally trip in thought and I figuratively trip in thought. I think I said that right. I literally trip in speech and I figuratively trip in thought. Right. So I grew up with a speech impediment. It's not all the way gone. So instead of me trying to edit out, hiccups and stammers and stutters, I just embrace it. And I say, come on, Dre. And I move on with life. That's what I do, And I trip, like I said before, I trip figuratively in thought. I have a lot of crazy ideas, a lot of crazy ways of thinking and a lot of crazy ideas. So I just put them out there, and hence the name Trippin. I said Trippin. Hence the name Trippin with Theobold. All right, so before we move on any further, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all that fun YouTube-y stuff, and I believe in episode 26, I was at Eric Smedley number of followers. So as y'all know, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so I'm doing something unique to try to get to 99 subs. I know it's a humble beginning, but we gonna get there. By hook or by crook, we gonna do this through stick-to-itiveness. We gonna do all this, man. We gonna get there, right? But right now, or in episode 26, I was at 40 subs, which was Eric Smedley's number for the Bills back in the late 90s. And then I believe I was trying to get to Reggie Gilliam number of followers, who's the current fullback for the Bills, number 41. And lo and behold, I'm at Matt Darby number of followers. Okay, so Matt Darby was a defensive back for the Bills in the 90s. He wore number 43. And if y'all hit that like and that subscribe button or tell a friend, maybe I'll be at Derek Holmes' number of followers. Derek Holmes were number 44 for the Bills, but I'm grateful for whatever I have. So let's just move on with the show because right now I am bantering off and on. So first off, Happy New Year. We here, 2022. Let me see. We are at 3 minutes and 2 seconds. So I'm gonna give it another minute or so, but y'all know how YouTube does. YouTube likes to, there's a 2-minute rule where if you cuss within the first 2 minutes, they're gonna put your video at the bottom. And I'm trying to not get my video put to the bottom. So in a couple minutes, I'm gonna talk a little more freer. Because as we know, we can't talk too free. We can talk free, but not all the way free, right? Like, they should spell the word free with one E, because we not all the way free. It should just be free. Okay, whatever. But that was corny. But anyways, now, Happy New Year to y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks for listening. So, I got back to LA last week on the 11th. And, I was unpacking, cleaning up, trying to get resettled. I had that Colt 45 over the break. When I say Colt 45, y'all know what I mean. But I had it, man, and it was weird. Like, I didn't really feel sick. I just felt tired. Like, I just was sleeping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like the most sleep I ever probably got in my life, man. Like, I don't think I ever slept like that, man. Like, I slept and I would start having them weird dreams. Like, when you had them weird dreams and then you start sweating and then you wake up and you're like, man, I cannot go back to sleep. It is time to get up. Like, everyone had like your brain has a way of getting you out of bed. But even though I was having those weird dreams, I was like, yeah, I'm up. And I felt up, but I was like, let me go back to sleep. And I would just go back to sleep. So that's what I was doing all break, man. Just slept. Also work too, because I work from home. So, I work from home and I slept. I had to make sure I had to clear that up, so people just didn't think I was sleeping, because You never know. HR or my job could be watching this joint, and they might be like, "Hey, how's your time card filled out? And you were doing all the sleeping." Well, I slept around my work. Okay. So, anywho, what else we got going on, man? Let me go ahead and do some shout outs right quick, man. I want to shout out Jim Quick and Quick Learning. I don't think that's his real name. I think that's just like it's like a nickname or whatever, but it's called Quick Learning and Quick Reading, and it's basically teaching you how to read properly because, as y'all know, like, I'm not a fan of books right now. I read books in the past, but I'm not a big reader because I read too slow. Like, I sub-vocalize everything in my head, and my brain is like, man, come on, Dre, I know what these words are, just move along, and it's like I kind of get in my head when I read, and I do the whole regression, I do the whole line skipping and back skipping, I do all those bad things when it comes to reading. But that's a good little program. It's teaching you that, the way that it basically is a course that picks up from where you left off from right after learning how to read out loud, because in school, all you had to do was sound out the words to demonstrate that you could read, and then do some little like multiple choice at the end to make sure that, you could comprehend what you read. When I say comprehend, I mean basically pick out words, because it's not critical reading, because critical reading is a whole nother beast. But it picks up from where you left off in grade school, and when the teacher said, hey, okay, now that y'all can read out loud, now read to yourselves. So when they tell you to read to yourselves, what are you going to do? You're going to do what you were doing out loud inside your head. And that's how I became a big sub-vocalizer when I read. So this course is basically unbreaking bad habits, and I like the approach. And right now I'm like a little more than halfway through. I see some changes. It's still difficult because you're pushing yourself to read and you're pushing your eyes to see words and not sub-vocalizing in your head. So now it's a good course. I highly recommend it. It's something that's needed. I'm really having fun with the course. It's kind of like making me feel like how I felt back when I was typing, right? Because first when I was typing in school, I would type with my two fingers. I would be doing this, But then, when I was in high school, we had typing class, so we had to take a book, and good old Miss Mathis. Miss Mathis was our home. Was she my home teacher? No, she wasn't my home teacher, but she was my typing teacher, man. And she was calm but strict. And every day we go into that class, and it was eyes on the screen, find the home keys. We're gonna just work on these characters today. Pat, 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 pat. And that's how you use all your fingers. And when you use all your fingers, you can type a whole lot faster. So people say I type relatively fast, like when I'm in the chat room, like talking shit in the chat room. I can cuss now because we are past the 2-minute mark. But when I'm in the chat room, I be lighting people up in the chat room because I be typing fast, and I'll be looking at the screen when I'm doing it, So I feel like the quick learning program is kind of the same way, right? It's kind of like when I first learned how to type, it was real goofy. It just felt like, man, this is frustrating. Why do I have to do this? And then when you pick up the rhythm and pick up the pace, it's like, oh, you don't even think about it, So I think the reading is the same way. So, shout out to Jim Quick Learning. It's a fun course, and he really makes it like he should be a salesman, man. 'Cause he could sell anything. That dude Jim Quick is real smooth and just real happy, and everything is just like he has a good product, man. He knows what he's doing. So if you can't read, I suggest you get this joint so you can pick up on your reading, because reading is fundamental. What else I want to shout out, man? Let me shout out to SIA Collective, which stands for Somewhere in America. Cause nigga, I finally got my damn shoes, man. I ordered these shoes. And it's no shade, but it's a I believe it's a black owned shoe company. You know what I'm saying? It's owned by, I think, Delvin Carter. And he has some dope shoes, man. His shoes be on fire, man. and my boy E put me on. My man E put me on these shoes, man. And like I ordered these I think back in August, and I got them in January because like you have to like do a pre-order and then he gets them made, and then they get shipped over. But I got them, and man, these things is fire. Okay, you can't see because this part here is green, so it's weird because this part here glows in the dark, but these shoes are not purple, right? They light up if I can get the light to hit the shoes in the right way. Can I get the shoes to light up? No, they won't light up. But no, these shoes light up. Let me see if I can get these shoes to light up. Man, they won't light up. I want these shoes light up. Okay, they won't light up, but really these shoes are reflective, right? And it makes like a they just light up when the light hits it. So these shoes are pretty dope, you know. So shout out to SIA Collective and Delvin Carter for getting these shoes to me. You know, these are my official birthday shoes of 2022. I can't wonder why I can't get these shoes to light up. Okay, that was weird because now you see where my pen is. Okay, so put them behind me. Nah, they won't light up here, but when the light hits them, man, these shoes, people are gonna be like, "Yo, what are those?" You know. So I want to shout out SIA Collective. You know, good pair of shoes, nice and unique, stylish. See, now they're lighting up in my box, but I can't. You guys can't see it. You just gotta believe me. Or if you want to see them, look, like go on my YouTube, go on my Instagram. Cause I'll post them on my Instagram, and then when you guys see them, you'll be like, "Oh, that's what you were talking about." And I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, that's what I was talking about." So, anyways, put these to the side. Oops, making all this noise. And I got me some birthday hoodies. You know, it's the first hoodie I got from my childhood. This is, if you guys don't recognize it, basically it's the intro to the real Ghostbusters cartoon. I used to bust my ass to get chores done in the morning. I would half-ass do my chores in the morning so I could watch this cartoon every Saturday morning. I got the box set, so I said, hey, why not get the hoodie? You know? And then another hoodie I got from my childhood, and it might date me, but you know, fuck y'all. But this was like one of my favorite albums, man. Growing up, this is like one of my favorite. It's just a weird. So I got a weird taste in music, man. But this was like one of my favorite albums growing up because this is like all I heard, like on road trips, you know. And like every track, and this is like, see, I like old school Kenny. I like 80s Kenny G, or better yet, I like alto sax Kenny G, not soprano sax Kenny G. You know, like that soprano sax Kenny G, that's just kind of moist. But the soprano sax Kenny G, like that's like the party horn, like Kenny G, right? That's the one there where it's like the Coming to America saxophone sound. Like remember Coming to America, the Soul Glow saxophone. Like that's the Kenny G I like. You know what I'm saying? That I'm not gonna simulate it, but dual tones, man. That's my album. I know every track on that joint. There's like very few words, but every track on that joint is a banger to me, man. You know, so laugh it up, you know. But this is what my childhood was growing up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing. I also want to shout out. I just finished that Colin Kaepernick Black and White miniseries on Netflix, and it was dope, man. So shout out to our brother Colin Kaepernick, man. I thought it was very it's weird. Like I feel like everything in his documentary, I felt like I've seen or experienced. Now, obviously, I didn't experience the part of having two white parents in a household, but everything else I kind of experienced, if not worse. I had other experiences that were like probably like way worse than that in there. But I thought it was dope. I mean, I feel like one thing he did a good job of in the series was all the historical facts and just the way it was told, the way the story was told. I thought that was pretty unique, you know. So I thought it was good casting, good acting. The one criticism I have of the of the series is the opening where they basically tried to compare the NFL to slavery, and I think that um, I think that the symbolisms and I think the optics of the NFL look like slavery, but the two to me, I mean, I think you really can't really compare the two. I mean, you can compare the two from the optic standpoint, but not from an overall holistic standpoint because people were born into slavery. They were born into that. They were born into abuse. They were born into getting beat. They were born into being taught that they were less than other people or less than like white people. Whereas in football, like people aren't born into that. Like you're not born into playing football. Like it's not like you're born and you're put into the football field to go play, and then if you don't play, you get beat. It doesn't work like that. But the optics and like the mindset kind of behind it in some aspects, I kind of agree with. But that was the only thing. Everything else I thought was dope about the miniseries. I liked how the thing I'm really interested in is I feel like the thing I'm come on Dre. The thing I'm really interested in is I'm really interested to know, like, did he have a conversation with his parents before he put the series out, and were they aware of this, and did they were like, oh, okay, yeah, now we understand, or was he kind of like, man, fuck it, I don't care, and then now, because here's the thing, right? Like, I feel like his parents in the household, I feel like what they had was I feel like that situation was believable because you could see like the parents trying to like, or the mom for the most part. The mom for the most part was trying to, she was trying to like play along for a little bit, right? Like when she was trying to like figure out how to get his hair cornrowed and how she was kind of like stumbling along or whatever. But the dad kind of was like, nah, this is what you got to do, according to like white society, So I don't feel like his parents were like a lot of people might watch that and say, oh, his parents were racist, but I wouldn't say his parents were racist. I would say that his parents were like privileged. Like they just didn't know what goes on from, they didn't know, or they don't know what goes on from the black perspective, and I think that was highlighted in the whole scene with the traffic ticket, and I like how they did that, how they showed the cop let him pass by every time, and he's speeding when the dad was driving, but then when Cap was driving, he got pulled over, and then it was a whole different tone. So I think that was real good. I think that was a good element of the series to show that, just because white people have their ways or because they think a certain way, that doesn't necessarily make them racist. It just makes them unaware, right? Or privileged, So, so I don't know. Like I think it was a good document. I think it was a good series overall. And I like the ending. I'm not gonna spoil it in case y'all didn't see it, but nah, it was good. I liked the I wonder if they're gonna do another part when he's in college. That would be dope. Like I think hopefully they do a part where he's in college and they do a part when he's in the NFL. Like that would be real dope because now, if you take that and then compile that with the historical facts that he also adds throughout the narrative, I think it's going to be very informative, and very eye-opening. So shout out to Cap, man. What else we got going on, man? Oh man, I gotta tell y'all this bullshit. Let me take a sip before I tell y'all this bullshit. Oh, let me tell you this bullshit, man, because this fucked up my day. So the other day, man, this was like on Friday. This was last Friday. Last Friday, I was going out to an appointment. It was in the morning. I was going to like a doctor's appointment at 9 a.m. And I was going out my back. I was going out my door and I was going out the back to where they have the back stairwell that goes down to the back of my garage. So I go down there, and as I go down the stairs that lead to the garage, I see this dude sitting on the steps, and like he's like, I see the top of him, and he's looking back at me like over top of me, and this motherfucker got his dick in his hand. Can you believe that shit? This motherfucker got his dick in his hand. I'm like, what the fuck, man? And like, it was scary, man, because like I just saw him, and then he just looked like he didn't care. So when I saw it, I was like, oh shit. And I turned around, I went back, and I went the other way, and then I went back up the stairs and I left out. But I was like afraid this dude might try to come up and try to chase me, man, because if you got your dick in your hand in public, man, ain't no telling what you might do. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was crazy. I called my neighbor to let him know because he was walking his dog, and he went the other way, and I wanted to let him know so he doesn't come back and catch the dude. Like, I feel like I'm trying to be a good neighbor. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if someone else saw that, I would like for them to let me know what they saw so I don't got to go back that same way and see it, you know? And I told my landlord, you know what I'm saying, or my property manager, they kind of freaked out. That shit was, like, their reaction was kind of funny. But the situation wasn't funny, but I'm saying that shit was real trippy, man. So typical LA shit, I guess, you know? Just some weirdo shit. So, oh man, that was, yeah. So let me go ahead and move on, man. I don't want to talk about this random bullshit. But I got more shit to talk about, man, than this. But anywho, let's go ahead and get to the crux of this shit, man. So my Buffalo Bills, these motherfuckers might be Super Bowl bound, man. And I'm getting a little bit stressed, you know? Like, the way they playing right now, the way they getting hot, like, they just believe that, I think they believe that they can win. And whenever you believe that you can win and you just play all out, you know, that's the last team you want to play, you know? But nah, man, I'm stressed out because here's the thing, right? Grew up a Bills fan, went through I watched all 4 Super Bowls as a kid, you know, and they were painful, man. Painful. Them shits hurt, man. I'm not even gonna lie, you know. Actually, I gotta count 3 because I was 9 when I first started watching football, and I didn't really know what I was watching, but I knew I was watching the Super Bowl, because it was a big deal in my family. You know, Super Bowl 25, Bills at Giants. I remember my pop, man. Oh man, he was serious. He was like, he dropped me off at Nanny's or my sitter, because I guess my mom was getting the house ready and stuff. And they didn't want me all in the way because we were having a Super Bowl party. I didn't even know we were having a Super Bowl party, you know. And my birthday was like a week or two before, so it was like a week before. So I'm thinking to myself, hold on a second, we just had a birthday party. Why do we have another party? Like, what's going on, you know? So Super Bowl 25. And my dad was like, I remember him just being real, like, worked up, you know. I remember, oh man, I remember he dropped me off at Nanny's, and he was like, Jay, I'm telling you right now, he's like, you need to be ready at 7:55. Like, he was like, you need to be ready at this time, you know, because I'm not gonna get out the car. I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna wait for a few seconds. If you don't hop in, you're gonna be spending the night here at Nanny's tonight, you know. So I was at Nanny's, and Nanny was my bro E's grandma, you know. So he was like, I think at the time he may have been like, how was he? He probably was like 6 maybe, but somehow he had a Sega Genesis and he had Madden 1, and we were playing Madden 1, and I remember looking out the window and I saw my dad's red Peugeot pull up, man. It was the red Beetle Peugeot. And I saw it and I just dropped the sticks and I ran downstairs. Before he pulled up, I remember I ran out, hopped in the car, and then we just drove off, went to the house. And when I walked in the house, all I could smell was, you know, chicken wings with the red hot sauce on them. I could smell, you know, I could smell my mom's sesame noodles. And then I just remember there being maybe like 5 or 6 people in the house, you know, and It was loud in the house, and I went downstairs, and as I walked downstairs, I'm hearing Whitney Houston's national anthem, or Whitney Houston singing the national anthem, and she is. I knew it was weird, but I remember hearing it for the first time, and I remember being young, and I remember like, yo, this is something. There's something about this voice, like it's something like this isn't something you hear every day. And I remember like my mom and everyone else was kind of like emotional watching the joint, like they were like, wow, it was a magical event. Like that was just the whole aura was magical, And then I remember watching the game, and all I remember is my dad just going crazy during the game. He had on his little tight khakis because it's like early '90s. You know what I'm saying? So he's wearing like these little tight khakis and like a little dress shirt or whatever, and he's jumping up and down, just talking all this shit during the Super. Talking the whole Super, just talking all this shit. I never seen my dad this loud, And I remember, some of the guests that were there, like one of them asked me, they were like, "Yo, Dre," they were like, "Hey, so who's your team?" And my dad cut him off and said, "Look, if he's not a Buffalo Bills fan, he can go sleep in the streets." So at that point, I was like, "Yeah, go Bills," So I remember my dad just being excited and jumping up and down, and I remember the final drive where the Bills were trying to get back in the field goal range to make the winning kick. And I remember my dad just screaming, "We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Holy shit. We're going to do it. We're going to do it, Jay. We're going to do it." My dad was happy, man. He was just all over the place, man. And then he went to commercial break. He went back to talking shit, Then the game came back on. He's like, "We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it." And then the kick went up. He was like, "We're gonna do it. We're gonna." Oh no! Oh no! He missed the fucking kick. Oh no! Oh no! That's all I heard for like the next 3 weeks in the house, man. Oh no! He missed the fucking kick. How he missed the fucking kick? So. That was a fun time, man. I remember my dad tucked me in the bed, and that night he just like, "Jay, he missed the fucking kick. He missed the fucking kick." Like that's all my dad. That's all he said the whole time, man. That shit was hilarious. And that's when I became. That's when I was like, I'm with these Bills, yo. I'm like, yeah, I'm rocking with. Like it was in me to be a Bills fan, So then after that, the next Super Bowl was Super Bowl 26, and I went to school in the come on, what the hell was that? I just double clutched like 5 times. So I went to school in the DC area. Super Bowl 26 was, as y'all may know, it was the Bills versus Redskins. And I remember that whole year, I watched every game that season. I was talking all this shit to all my schoolmates. This is going to be our year, and talked all this trash. And in my mind, there was no way the Bills were going to lose that Super Bowl, man. No way. I was confident. I was talking shit. I'm like, who's Mark Rippon? Mark Rippon can't beat us. Mark Rippon, Jim Kelly? Come on, man. Nah. So I remember that Super Bowl, man, and it was like we were getting worked, man. Like we were getting handled. I remember Andre Reed taking his helmet off and slamming it because they were pass interfering with that dude like a motherfucker, man. Like he was getting held, and he took his helmet off and slammed the joint. I remember Jim Kelly had a concussion that game. It wasn't a good game, man. It was a painful game to watch. But in my school, we had a little I went to this little private school, and we had a directory to where you could call up different students or whatever, right? So I didn't hear from anyone. I never heard from anybody in my school except for on Super Bowl Sundays after the Bills lost. I remember I remember after that Super Bowl, I remember I would always try to play sick, so I wouldn't have to answer the phone. So I'd go to my bed and just go to bed and sleep, or fake sleep, and the phone would ring. My mom would be like, "Andre's for you." I'm like, "Mom, I'm sick." She'd be like, "Nick, if you don't answer this phone," I'm like, "All right." So I put on a little fake cough on the phone. I'll be like, I'd be like, "Hello, hello," and they'd be like, "Hey, what's up, Dre?" I'd be like, "Joe, Dre, what's wrong?" I'd be like, "Man, I don't feel too good right now." And they'd be like, "Man, that sucks. But you know what else sucks? And I'd be like, what? They'd be like, them Bills, click, and they'd hang up, So those are the kind of phone calls I would get after Super Bowls, to add to the misery of my team losing. And then I would try to get to school early, I would try to always get to school early before everyone else got there after Super Bowl Sunday, because I knew if people come in one-on-one, right, if they came to me one-on-one and talk they trash, I could talk trash back, and it's easy, right? I could take anybody on one-on-one. But when you get ganged up on by a whole group of people, man, like that shit is traumatizing. I remember like I said, Super Bowl 26, Redskins and Bills in Minneapolis. Super Bowl 26. I remember getting up early the next morning and getting my pop to drop me to school early. So he got me to school real early, and I remember going across the courtyard. And the first class I had that day was a choir. So I remember I went across the courtyard, and I remember I looked inside of the choir room, and lights were off. So I'm like, yes, no one's there. I beat them, right? So I get in there. I get inside the room. I kind of creep in there. And when I creep in there, everyone just started laughing at me. Like these motherfuckers was waiting on me. And they started singing "Hail to the Redskins." They all had the Indian paint, and they had they little can't even talk right now, but they had their war paint and the Indian feathers. And a teacher, Miss Edwards, was playing "Hail to the Redskins" on the piano, and she's just looking at me, laughing at me, and everyone's laughing at me, pointing at me. Man, that shit hurt. So there was that, and then the next year, Bills win again, Super Bowl 27. It was Bills at Cowboys in Pasadena, and I'm like, who are the Cowboys? I'm not worried about no damn Cowboys. And I remember thinking to myself, like, yo, there's no way we're gonna lose 3 in a row. Like, we gotta win one of these. And I talked all this shit in school, and I remember I talked shit to this class bully. And I talked so much trash, and we said, look, if you got that much faith in your team, put your money up. I was like, all right. So we bet $40 that the Bills was gonna win the Super Bowl. Or I bet $40 that the Bills was gonna win. And in my time, $40 was a lot of money, So I was like, man, I ain't worried about it, because my Bills gonna win. So that Super Bowl, that was the one where we got destroyed, man, 52-17 in Pasadena. That was the Michael Jackson Heal the World Tour halftime show Super Bowl. I was like, the Bills were getting beat so bad, and I was so mad that I couldn't even watch the halftime show. Like I remember I ran upstairs. I tried to meditate and stuff. Actually, what happened before that was we had a Cowboys fan over. He was a little older. He's an older dude, and he was talking all this shit while my Bills were getting smacked, and he was just laughing at me and laughing. And I'm hoping that my Bills could come back with a play to kind of balance things out. And he started talking all this trash, man. And then I remember the halftime show, Michael Jackson came out and he started singing "Heal the World." He sang his own version. It was called "Heal the Bills." He started singing. He was like, "Heal the Bills, make them a better team for Andre's family and the entire human race." Andre's crying. That's why I ran up to the room, and I was pouting. I was mad. I tried meditating. I was trying to focus and hope that my Bills could, pull out the win. And they didn't. They kept getting punished. So the next day I went to school, and I was trying to duck and dodge this bully because I was like, I didn't have his money. So when the bully ran up on me, man, I was like, cool. I'm ready to take my ass whooping. The bully ran up on me, and I'm like, hey, man, yo, I got your money. Man, I'm sorry, I got your money. He said, nah, man, I'm just checking to see if you all right. I said, huh? He said, man, your team got whooped so bad, man, I had to check on you, And the money, the bet, keep your money. Because y'all got beat so bad, man, I would feel guilty if I took your money. You know what I'm saying? So I felt real weird about that. Like, not only did my Bills get their ass whooped on the Super Bowl, but I lost my dignity. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't take an ass whooping because I didn't have the money because the bully had mercy on me. You know what I mean? So, painful days, man. And then Super Bowl 28 was Bills Cowboys rematch. That was in Atlanta. That was in the Georgia Superdome, and I remember I think that was a Super Bowl where Thurman lost his helmet at halftime. So my mom had a red hors d'oeuvres Buffalo Bills helmet. It was a red hors d'oeuvre. I can't even say hors d'oeuvre. A red hors d'oeuvre Bills Super Bowl helmet, with the little snacks in there. Like you put the chips, you put the chips and the dip in the face mask, and then you could put like wings inside the helmet. Like it was like a little hors d'oeuvre tray. And I remember when Thurman Thomas didn't come out at halftime. I remember my friends, I forgot who it was, but they took out the food and they like, yo, Dre, took all the food out the tray and they said, yo, Dre, hey man, if you hurry up and if you get this helmet to Thurman, maybe y'all can get back in the game. And I'm like, seriously, dude? Like, for real? And then we lost. Like, the Bills actually were winning in the first half, so I thought that was our year, but it all fell apart in the end, man. And my Bills look like they look like these motherfuckers getting ready to go to the Super Bowl, man. And these motherfuckers better win, yo. That's all I gotta say, man. I don't want to hear no shit, Yeah, I don't want to hear no shit. Like, if they go, they better fucking win, man. Because I'm tired of having a conversation with folks when we talk trash for other Super Bowl teams, and their only argument is how many Super Bowls you win. Shut the fuck up, then, right? I want to be able to be like, we got one, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because when it comes to Super Bowl trash talking with teams, it's like, it all comes down to how many Super Bowl wins y'all got. Hey man, we got 7. Oh man, we got 6, and I'm like, well, they're like, and I start talking back and like, how many you got? And I'm like, all right, then shut the fuck up. Like that's how the shit goes, But anyways, these Bills are looking Super Bowl bound, man. Like the Patriots came to Buffalo last week and Buffalo put their foot all up in their ass. Like, I mean, I ain't never see the Bills look like that in a primetime game. So I'm stressed because not only are my Bills Super Bowl bound, but the Super Bowl is in LA. Right? So if the Bills go, nigga, I gotta go. And I'm looking at these ticket prices, man, and shit. I'm in a conundrum right now, man. Yeah, I'm in a conundrum, man, because like right now I could buy a ticket right now, like, but it would kill half my savings, And I'm not gonna tell y'all what kind of savings I got, but it would kill half my savings if I bought a nosebleed ticket to go see these Bills. And they're not even there yet, right? Like, they still got to play the divisional game against the Chiefs. And then they got to play, if they advance, then they got to play in the AFC Championship game. But it's one of those things where it's like, I'm in a weird place because if I buy the ticket now, that guarantees I have a seat for the Super Bowl if the Bills go. Now, if the Bills don't go, then the stress becomes I got to sell the ticket back, right? And then, like, I'm trying to just get my money back. Like, it'd be nice to make a profit off it, but at the same token, it's like I need to get my money back, man, if these Bills don't go, So it's like I'm worried about that. Like, if I can't sell, like, think about it, right? If I buy a ticket for $7,000 and then I can only sell it back for like $5,000, I basically gave away $2,000 for free. You know what I mean? So so that's what it's looking like for right now. So I have other things in the works. Like, I basically gave myself every opportunity and every chance to get to the Super Bowl every other way if my Bills go, But then the flip side is that if I wait, them Super Bowl prices going to jack up sky high, And plus, it's in LA. You got to think too that that SoFi just got built. It was a pandemic year last year, and the dude that built the stadium, he wants to get every dollar back, So this ain't no charity event, And then you got to think that we in LA. Then you got to think that, you got all these Hollywood celebrities up in the hills that got millions. They might just try to all pour in to go to the Super Bowl at one time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in a weird spot. Like, there's a part of me that's saying, yo, Dre, just get this ticket and just hold on to it and then see if you can sell it back. And then, like, another part of me is saying, if you don't get it and wait, and you look at these prices and they jump up to like $20,000 just to get in, it's like you're gonna look back and be like, man, why didn't you buy that ticket? Like when it was at that other price, But then I did my research, and they said that typically you can get a good deal on a Super Bowl ticket 3 to 5 days before the Super Bowl. But I mean, I think this is like, there's a lot of special cases, right? Like one, we're kind of like the world's opened back up. Last year, COVID was kind of like the Super Bowl kind of opened up again. But now it's like we've been open, people going back to games and stuff. It's in LA, new stadium. Bills, if the Bills go, there'll be a lot of Bills fans there. You got celebrities up here in LA and the Hollywood Hills that might want to go to the game, and they're gonna go put their money to go just to say they were at the Super Bowl, So yeah, so I'm stressing over this shit right now. Like I'm pretty much stressing because I feel like it's weird, man. With all the things I went through watching the Bills, I feel like that's my team, but it's not my team. I don't own them. I don't own them niggas. I don't own them. So it's like weird. It's like it's very humbling that like everything that you rooted for, everything that you went through, every game, I think I saw every game. Like I did not miss a game. Like that was I always like watched every game that came on TV in some way, shape, or form or fashion. I watched the game. Like I had to. Like if I didn't watch the game, I'd be itching. I'd be like, man, what the fuck are these Bills doing, man? Like someone got a team. Anyone got the game? Like that's how I was with them Bills. That's how I am with these Bills. So it's weird, man. I'm in a weird space, and cause I typically go to Vegas every year for Super Bowl, but I'm like, if I'm in LA and these Bills go, it's almost like with the intersection of that, I gotta go because this will probably never happen again in my life, and they never won a Super Bowl, so it'll be great to be there in the stadium, and they go and they win. Like that would be amazing, But then also I'm looking at the flip side of it, like I said, it's called Trippin with Theobold. This is the tripping part, But then I looked at the other thing. I looked at the other side. I looked at the flip side to this shit, and the other flip side is what if I go drop all this bread to go to the game, don't tailgate, I just show up, go to the game, watch the Bills win, and then I go home. Like it'll be fun to watch all that, but then it's like I go home, like then half my savings is gone. You know what I'm saying? So, that I know some Bills fans are like, hey man, if I would give all my savings to go see the Bills. That's the real question. How much are you willing to pay to go see your Bills? Some people would say half my savings. Some people would say I would go take out a credit card and just swipe it, and just run it. Yeah, now I'm in a different place because of the pandemic, right? Like last year I lost my job, and I had a little bit of savings saved up, and it took me about a year to find a job, right? So I found a job after a year, and I built up my savings even more after that. And it's like I didn't move to LA to watch the Bills go to the Super Bowl, right? It just so happened that I'm here and the Bills are here, But I moved to LA to continue my journey in becoming a legend in this thing they call comedy, right? So that's why I'm here, right? That's why I'm here. So I feel like on the flip side, to go even darker or to go even deeper, if I kill half my savings on going to one game to watch these Bills in the Super Bowl, I feel like if my job goes belly up, and if I feel like if my job goes belly up and then I have to go rely on my savings, it would be ironic if I'm not able to stay out here because I killed my savings, or I killed half my savings on going to a game or going to the Super Bowl. Not a game, but the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So these are kind of the things I'm thinking about, So yeah, I'm stressing right now because I just know. Yeah. And it's funny too. I'm glad that the Nationals went to the World Series in 2019, right? Because I'm a Nationals fan. I've been a fan since they moved, because they They were the Montreal Expos. They moved to DC in 2005. I went to the inaugural game at RFK Stadium versus the Mets. But I remember in 2019, I was like the Nationals got hot. Like the Bills have that same feeling right now, like the Nationals had. 'Cause I remember the Nationals. I actually went to. I went to the divisional game, the first game against the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium, and we got beat. And I remember Dodger fans, they were talking all this shit or whatever, but that's cool, whatever. But then, so I pretty much gave up on them then, man. But I remember I still watched the game, but I didn't go to the rest of the series, but I went to that one game to say I went to the divisional game, playoff game. But after that, the Nationals, man, they got hot. They got hot and beat the Dodgers. Then who did they beat after that? I want to say they beat the was it the Cardinals? I think. And then I'm trying to think. I gotta go back and I can't remember, but I just remember watching all those games, and they just got hot, and they didn't play like that in the regular season. Like they looked. That was like it was just different. Like they just had a whole different swag, and they just had we don't care. Like they just weren't like they weren't afraid to lose, you know. So, I feel like the Bills are kind of playing like that right now, which is scary, you know, which is why I'm thinking these Bills is going to go all the way, you know. And I'm not just saying that as a fan. I'm saying that as just when you study championship teams and what they do, it's like they get hot. And the Bills right now are probably like the hottest team right now. So yeah, so but when I looked at the Nationals World Series, it was killing me that I wasn't going to any of the games. Like, I remember they had the home games. They had what? I think they had 3 home games in DC, and then they clinched in Houston. So a part of me was like I was going to fly back home and then go to a game, but I think they wanted 1,000 just to get in, and it was like standing room only. So it's like if you paid 1,000 to go at that standing room part, you might not even be able to see the field because you're way back in the back. So it's like, do you really want to fly all that way to pay 1,000 to sit to not even be able to see the game, or what? So I remember I was like stressing. I was like, yo, do I get the ticket? Do I not get it? What do I do? And I'm sitting there stressing. And then they didn't win a single game in DC, and it was raining. So I knew I would have been pissed if I flew back in the rain to watch these motherfuckers go out there and not win or clinch in DC. But then I thought about going to Houston when they clinched, and I didn't go. But it felt weird not being there. But at the same time, it's like at the end of the day, it was like that's not my team. I don't own the Nationals. You know what I'm saying? So it sinks in. You know, that's the weird part about being a fan is, you know, when your team is shitty and you're backing them up and you're paying money, going to the games, buying the gear, buying all the paraphernalia, buying all this stuff. But then it's like when it comes down to them winning, like you feel like that side chick that was supporting this dude all the way up just to find out at the end when they go to the Super Bowl or go to the championship that you the side chick. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of leaves you like with a weird feeling. But I'm still a Nationals fan. But it's like I'm looking at that experience and I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, Bills go to the Super Bowl, they win. I don't go. I watch the game at home. How much is it going to eat up at me? You know. But the difference is the Nationals were only around in 2005, so I was in grad school then. But the Bills, like this is when I was 9 years old, man. Like I've been a Bills fan since I was 9. First and only team I've only ever went for. And I remember just watching the games on TV with my dad, and I remember us like driving all the way to Fairfax, Virginia to watch the games at Kevin Greavy's. I remember watching the game with the Bills backers, the Green Turtle and Laurel. I remember watching being a member of the Bills backers club over at the California Inn right by our house and going to watch the games there. I mean, I remember going to my first Bills game. I remember going to my first Bills Monday night game. Um, I remember just getting on the plane, just all the stress that I went through just to get into the games. Um, I remember when I dropped Lee Smith in the end. Like, oh, there's so much more history with me and the Bills than there are the Nationals, which is why I'm kind of like torn still. Like, man, if I don't go, if they go, it's gonna eat at me, you know. So, anywho, let me talk about something else probably. But now, what else, man? But it's weird, man. I feel like I'm being greedy. You know what I'm saying? Like everything like I wanted, like I pretty much got. Like I'm in LA. I'm working from home. I left a job that I didn't like before, and I was able to find something else. Um, I'm still out here doing comedy, hitting up these shows, hitting up these mics. Doing what I want to do. Um, but it's like if I get this Bills ticket to go, or if I get the Super Bowl ticket and I go, now I'm gonna want more. I'm gonna want to get closer to the field. I want to be like, I just want more, and I think that's just human nature. So anyway, I think I went on enough about all that. Um, anyway, like I said, I have a birthday coming up, January 23rd, 0123. Um, and people that know me know that I'm pretty weird about my birthdays. I typically like to do things. Um, I typically like to just like do things on my own. Like I don't like to do a whole lot of planning, a whole lot of. I just like to be in a situation where I can reflect on um, birthdays of the past. Where I've come from, where I'm at, where I'm going. Just real subtle. Um, and I like to because in the past, so growing up, when I was young, my mom used to spoil me on my birthdays, man. That's the problem. Like I used to get spoiled. Like my mom used to like it was a big deal. Like I would like she would go to the grocery store and get the Dixie ice cream cups and some cake. Or no, she had this lady named Miss Madeline, R.I.P. Miss Madeline, but she used to like make all my cakes, man. Like she used to make like all these like cartoon cakes, man. So I would have like a Voltron cake. I had a Ghostbuster cake one year. I had a Ninja Turtle cake one year. I think I had a Darth Vader cake one year, man. But she just made all these cakes, man. They were all good. Um, and So I would go to school with like these little Dixie cups and birthday cakes, and then my mom would coordinate with other moms at my school, to have like a slumber party or like a sleepover, right? So it would be like me. So we used to have like 8, 9 people stay over at my crib over the weekend. Like they would come over Friday night. We have the video game system hooked up. We're playing video games, eating pizza, and we had a tournament, right? So we had the big TV and the little TV. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were playing, like if you lost, you had to get in the little TV line. If you won, you got into the big TV line. And if you were winning on the big TV, you stayed on the big TV. But if you lost on the little TV, you had to move and let the next dude in line try to win to get to the big TV. So I remember all those days. And it always snowed like on my birthday weekend, and we always had like a snowball fight in the backyard inside of the house. So like those were like really like big like core memories of my birthdays, like growing up as a kid. But then when I became a teenager, you can't be doing all them sleepovers and shit. So on my birthday, I started just getting cards and shit and half-ass gifts, and that kind of like, that's like a letdown, like when you're used to doing big shit on your birthday. So then like I went to college, went through all my experiences. So basically everything kind of like everything kind of morphed into me going to Vegas, right? So what I would do is I would always do something low key on my actual birthday. Like I'm saying, I'll spoil myself. I'll give me a pair of basketball shoes, go out, get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like get a little birthday cake, make a little wish, and then Super Bowl weekend, I would just drive out to Vegas and I would stay out there. I would go like on a Thursday and stay through Super Bowl Sunday, and I would just go out there and just enjoy myself and just really be free. So it's always like I had something else to look forward to, So that was dope. So that's just how I am on my birthday. But anywho, Last year was kind of weird because it was a pandemic year. Um, and not only that, I had a funeral on my birthday. My uncle passed like a few weeks before that, or a week or so before that. So we had a funeral on my birthday. Um, and I had to kind of help, like, do like I was like an admin, kind of helping people get in and out of the Zoom because people couldn't, So I was doing that in the morning or for a good part of the day. And then I went to my cousin Sean's house and had had like a little birthday cake or whatever. Oh no, I had like a little birthday thing or whatever. And then we watched the Conor McGregor Poirier fight with him and like another friend. And it was just real low key. It was dope, man. And I didn't go to Vegas last year because of the pandemic. And I think it's right. I watched the Super Bowl at Sean's house last year. That's what it was. I watched it at his place. Yeah, I watched it at Sean's crib. And that's what I did. So that was like pretty low key. So this year I don't know what's gonna happen. I have spoken some things into existence. I'm working on my birthday wish list. Because I'm real funny about birthday wishes. When it comes to birthday wishes, you can only wish for one thing, and you can't tell anybody what you're wishing for. Yeah. So I'm trying to like really think about like what I want or the wish I want, and then just kind of like narrow it down and just put it out into the universe. Mentally, not verbally, but put it out into the universe, and maybe magic happens. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But anywho, that's that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much like what I do for my birthdays. That's pretty much what I've done for the past like 10 years. And who knows? Maybe there'll be something else that I add on to it, or maybe this year will be totally different. Who knows? Anywho, let me go and move on and talk about this comedy bump, what I'm saying? Or the comedy bump portion of the show. We talk about, my comedy mishaps. So comedy mishap. Let's talk right quick. So oh yeah. So when I first when I was so I had this joke that I still do. I haven't retired it yet. It's Iowa. It's a bit about Iowa. They have an African American museum, and I'm not gonna do the joke now because I'm talking. So but I do a joke about the African American Museum in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And when I first started doing the bit, like it's a pretty like clever bit. It's also there's some truth to it. But when I first started doing it, I was like trying to be an activist too at the same time. So that's when I first started doing comedy. So it was like the first part of the joke is like funny, but then I would go deeper and I would try to go deeper into it, and then people were it would just kind of kill the mood of the joke, So I forgot. So basically let me go and tell you, I'm not gonna perform the joke, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what the joke is. So basically, in Cedar Rapids, they have an African American museum, and people go, oh wow, oh that's weird, that's interesting. I never thought that, because when you think Iowa, it's a white area. They have an African American museum. So then I say, every time I used to go to the museum, like I used to scare the shit out of white people, and I get a laugh out that, and people expect, oh, people think, what malicious thing have you done to scare them, right? And it's real simple. All I do is when I go in there, like I would just, like one time I was focused on this exhibit. And when I moved, this white dude said, "Oh my God, you moved! You scared me, buddy! Oh my God!" Like that's the joke, right? So what I used to do was it was like more of an act out, and then I would try to like put in like facts about Black history, and then I remember I tried to tie in like Nat Turner, and it was just all this extra stuff, and it was just like it was weird. Like with comedy, you're trying to like it's all about poking. It's all about poking the bear, or like poking. It's all about poking, right? You want to poke and laugh, and then every now and again get them with a haymaker. So it's like they don't know when the haymaker's coming, But it was like the joke was funny enough as it is, but I kept trying to like do more to it. Like I remember trying to like slide in some some fucked up shit that white people did, and then it just threw the whole joke off, and I would get silence after that bit. So then it's like I played around with it, and it's just a real little, it's a quick one hitter, So that's what I learned about comedy is like you got to be able to like. The number one rule is to be funny. You know what I'm saying? You can say all the shit you want, but in the day you gotta be funny. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I feel like I'm trying to get too preachy or too activism-ish, it's like, hey, pull back, joke, nigga, have fun. Man, this chair is killing me right now. Back. Anywho, so what's up next? What's up next for me? So tonight I have my first show of 2022. It's at Sunset Grill. It's in association with the Liar people, but it's a new producer. So I'm gonna go out here and give them 8 minutes of fire. It's gonna be a fun show. So, but yeah, you guys aren't gonna be able to really see that because by the time I put the video out, I'm already gonna have done the show. But whatever, I'm just letting you know what I have coming up next for me in my timeline right now. What else we got? I'm gonna do another special edition of Trippin with Theobold. I had a old classmate reach out to me from middle school. An old friend of mine named Roger Wessel. And he was a big Skins fan back in the day, man. He was one of my Skins Nemesis fans, but we used to talk all this trash back in the day or whatever. But he found out about my little podcast, and he was like, "Yo, I want to get on. I want to talk about these. I want to talk about the rename of the Washington football team." And I was like, "That would be a dope episode because the rename is going to be they're going to rename the team on the 2nd of February, or they're going to release it." And I'm really interested to hear his perspective on it because I know that's got to be weird to have won a team with a Super Bowl, with you being a fan and you not knowing that, or not being aware that the name is derogatory, and then they change it, and then you have losing seasons. It's going to be an interesting podcast, man. So that's something I want to do. Well, I'm gonna have to get that done next week. So I'm gonna try to set it up before. Then I want to try to set. Come on, Dre. I want to set it up before the name drop because I feel like I want to really just get his opinion on what it is, and then maybe even do a follow up. So I got to figure out all the technicalities for that. But that's what I plan to have coming up. That's what I'm working on right now. But if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Tell a friend to tell a friend. What else? Make sure you hit that subscribe button, so we can get to Derek Holmes' number of followers. And with that being said, that's all, folks. I'm out of here. Peace.